Hey everyone, it's James here, it's Master Mewtwo. So it's freaking 20 minutes after 1 a.m. and I can't sleep. So I figure let's do another deep thoughts moment because the only thing I can do right now is think. And one thing that's sticking out in my mind, even though I recently tweeted that I'm stressing out over baseball starting again, which is the sport I've been playing all my life. Something else sticks out, and that topic is loneliness. And I'm someone who knows loneliness intimately, to summarize it at best. So those people who say like, oh yeah, I deal with loneliness all the time because I'm never around people, etc., etc. Those people, you're not necessarily lonely, you're more alone. Like you like spending time alone. You prefer to segregate yourself from others. You prefer to be a recluse in a sense because you prefer to avoid others. You feel more comfortable solo as opposed to in a group. That's being alone. That's something else. Being lonely is that sensation that you could be in a room full of people, as many, it could be one other person, it could be 10 other people, it could be 100 other people, and yet you feel like you're the bubble boy or you're the bubble girl, you're the person in the bubble, and you're in your own atmosphere, your own world, and you feel unapproachable. You feel that people can't come to you, you feel that people don't want to come to you. And that's a very massive... I'm going to have to switch positions here so I can set my laptop a little better. You feel like you're the only one in that room. There could be, like I said, hundreds, tens, thousands, one other person. You could be in the same room with the person you love the most. You could have them snuggled up right up against you, holding them nice and tight, feeling their warmth, but it only goes so far as the surface of your skin. You can't feel their presence. The warmth of their body only goes skin deep. You feel cold at the core. And that's essentially what loneliness is. You feel cold deep down. You don't feel the warmth of another human being. And it's a feeling I know very well. It's a feeling that can traumatize a lot of weaker-willed people, a lot of people who aren't used to that feeling, and it can really bring someone down. It can literally destroy you, that feeling. And it's something I know very well. It's something that I've had to deal with for a very long time. Like, I made some work friends, and literally that first time I hung out with those work friends, it was as if I didn't even feel they were there. I was enjoying myself, I was having a few drinks, I was having a few laughs, getting some stuff out about who I am, basically introducing myself to them on a much deeper level, and it felt as if those words were just passing through them as if they meant nothing. And I look back on it, and yeah, I felt it was nice to be out with others, and I even hung out with my youngest brother a couple weeks later because it was my birthday. And he bought me a few drinks, and some of his friends met us there. And and even in that room, even with the hot bartender right there, and my brother right there, and a couple of his friends, and we're going back and forth, I still felt as if I was the only one in that room. You had the game, you had hockey on, you had baseball on, you had the hot bartender doing her job, looking great in those frickin' tights and her shirt, and it's just like, it was as if I was the only person there, drinking my drink, minding my own business, and it is a surreal feeling. It is a feeling that makes that, like, you think you feel empty when there's, you think you feel empty because it's like, oh yeah, these people are rejecting me, these people are ignoring me. It's when you, yourself, don't feel them there. They could include you, they can encourage you, they can do all this and that and try to bring you out of your shell, but when that shell is basically sealed tight, welded shut, and you don't feel anything to their benefit, them trying to help you, it is such an empty feeling. What are other words for this? Empty, worthless, hopeless. All these things are running through your mind, are basically eating away at your very being, at your very soul. And you can see the effects on who you are, who you hang out with, what you do with those people, how you feel about yourself. I think I said that already. Your body image, your projected emotional self-image. Like, if you felt truly lonely and you were basically plugged into the Matrix, for example, you'd probably see someone very ugly. You wouldn't see your true self. You would see this unattractive person who is so used to being pushed away by others, who's used to basically others saying the complete opposite to what they're actually saying. Because a lot of the times when you feel lonely, you project those feelings. You project the sensation that, oh, they're rejecting me, they don't actually want me there. When it could be the complete and utter opposite of that. And like I said, it's something I know very well because people have tried to include me. But because of how my brain is wired, because I've suffered from bullying, I've suffered from emotional and mental and physical abuse in relationships. It's just this absolutely it's a hindrance. You're like chained to a wall, and you try to pull yourself off that wall, and it's almost like bungee cords are holding these chains to the wall. So you stretch out, you try to reach out, but all of a sudden your arm snaps back into the wall again. And you like break your forearm because it's a brick wall that's holding you there. In terms of what you can do in order to try to get over these feelings, it's very difficult. Like for myself, I've seen my counselor for over a year. People encourage me to talk to them and try to get all this out, but as much as I get out, it doesn't matter who it is or what I'm doing, I still feel this crippling, restrictive loneliness. You can't describe it any way else. It's loneliness, and it just holds you so tightly because it becomes that almost like, you know, when you get hyperthermic, you feel warmer. When you're hypothermic, you feel this coziness wash over you as the blood chills and all this. It's like that. It's like you're basically in a pool in the winter, and you're basically feeling your body sink into hypothermia, and your temperature starts to lower and lower and lower, and you start getting colder and colder to everyone on the outside. Because I've had people, oh yeah, you can talk to me about this, that, and it's like, yeah, I understand that, but I can't because I don't feel right about it. And that's something that I feel. Like these deep thoughts videos, it's a way to let people know that they're not alone. I have dealt with this crap. I once was laughed at by a teacher in freaking junior kindergarten, which is basically that space between preschool and kindergarten. And that moment was basically the match to the fuse. And it's been a complete line in my entire life. Just social awkwardness and all this stuff. And it's just like, oh yeah, you can, and then people are like, yeah, I understand how you feel, you can talk to me. It's just, but you feel that you're tied to this wall, and you want to reach out and let them help you, but it's like I said, that the bungee swings your arm back into the wall again. So you're basically stuck there, chained, so you can't break these chains, and then there's a bungee cord attached to the end of the chain which is holding your arm, so you have enough room to move and just basically do what you can. But if you go too far, the bungee snaps back. And like I said, you break your forearm off the brick wall. That's basically where you're tied to. But the only thing I can suggest, if you feel this immense loneliness, if you have a best friend, reach out to that friend. Let them know that as hard as you try, you feel alone. Not alone. Alone is the wrong. You feel lonely. You feel like even though you connect with your best friend, you feel as if that best friend is not even there. And if that person is your best friend, you'll basically just get a big hug, and it's just like try to smooth things over and do what you can. But you need to find, I think I said this in my stress video, and I'll say this in every other video I make, you need to find someone who can identify. You need to find an outlet for your pain, for your anguish, for your stress, for your anxiety, for your paranoia, for your depression, for all of this. You need that outlet. You need to find a hobby. You need to find a person you can talk to. Mental health counselors are great. If you can afford the psychiatrist, go right ahead. See your doctor first, because your doctor might be able... You can talk to your doctor. Your medical doctor it should have some training in psychiatry or at least psychology, so that you can at least talk. Bring out some of the pain, bring out some of these identifying factors, and you might be able to go through your doctor, get a referral, and see a mental health counselor. And in my case, because I'm Canadian, I have freaking free healthcare. So I have that provincial healthcare plan, and I can see a counselor no problem. But obviously with Americans, it's not that easy. However, if you workplaces should have someone available for you if you need to talk to someone, because you can go to your boss and say, I'm feeling really down, and it should be in your benefits whether or not you can see a psychiatrist or even just a counselor, and basically get the shit off your chest and basically say, yeah, I'm feeling really down, this shit's going down at home, I feel so fucking pressured, blah 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 blah. And you need to get that out. You need to say, there's something wrong, I need to let others know so that I don't encounter a nervous breakdown and just fall to the lowest rung in society. And that's something you need to get out, because if you feel trapped, you need to find someone who can at least supply you with a hacksaw, or at least a pair of scissors to chop the bungee cord. Because even though the chains might be heavy, at least you're not stuck to the wall anymore. And those chains will eventually rust and erode and break down to the point where they slough off you and fall off you, as long as you have the right amount of help. Some of you might need antidepressants, some of you might need drugs, some of you even marijuana. Marijuana can help you mellow out. I have a friend who's known me for over a decade. She occasionally hits the pipe, hits the joint, and she mellows out. Me, maybe. I was going to have a bit of an experiment, I put in quotes, and just try to write something out while under the influence of a pretty heavy painkiller narcotic that my dad has, because he had kidney stones at the time. So I was going to try taking one or two of those and just write something out and just see how focused my mind becomes. Because if you get a lot of the weight off your mind, a lot of creativity can just spill out, which is why a lot of people who write a lot of good songs and they say, oh yeah, I was under the influence of this, that, and the other, it's possible that they were, because of the fact that all this comes out, and I'm straying away from the topic of loneliness here. But with taking drugs, that's one thing you can't do. You can't be, and you can't be lonely. That's why drinking alone is bad. Because if you drink alone, that just encourages you to drink more and more and more. Because you feel more and more lonely, because it's just like, oh, there's no one here to help me get home. There's no one here who can take care of a cab for me. There's no one here who can do this, do that, and the other. And then all of a sudden you become this drunken transient in the middle of the night, trying to wander his way home. You could be in the middle of downtown, and your house might be up a mountain, or, well, in my case, I'm relating this to where I live. You could be up the mountain, you have to ride a bus, and then all of a sudden, oh shit, I don't have bus fare because I spent all my money on booze, beer, liquor, whatever, and you're stuck, you're trapped, and there's no one who can help you, especially if you live alone. Then you're screwed, basically. So it's one thing to be alone, it's another thing to be lonely. And it's something that is very hard to deal with, which is why, even though some people you may feel you can't get through to them, but that's you're projecting. If you just need to get it all out. You need to be able to say, there's something wrong, I need to tell you about this, and if they're as good as a friend as they swear to be, you'll be able to get it all out, be able to say, this is how I feel, and just be there. And they will be there for you. You just have to have that support network set up. And I think I said this in my last video for this. Have that support network set up. Parents, see, the thing with because a lot of you are younger. A lot of the tubers that I'm talking to, you're younger. You still live with your parents. You still do this, that, and the other with your parents. You still live at home. I live at home. But then again, I am much older than all of you. So the thing is with that, you need to stop projecting a lot of your anger on your parents as well, because that'll just increase your loneliness. Your parents are there to take care of you. Some of you can debate that because your parents might not be the best of people, and you'll learn that as you age, that your parents are not as good as they seem to be when you're younger, because you idolize your parents when you're younger, and when you grow up and when you mature, you start to see the flaws. You start to see how human they are, and that can be something that's heartbreaking to deal with. But you can't project your loneliness on them the way you project it on other people, because they are there to help you when you need it the most. That's why they're your parents. That's why you still live with them. That's why they haven't tried to kick you out yet. There are worse things in this world, but you don't have to deal with them yet. You're still very young. And for those of you who are older who are listening to this, and you know what I'm talking about with the parents, and you grow up and you start to see how human they are, if you live away from the house, you've become a lot more endearing towards your family, because your family, you start to understand some of the intricacies of what went on when you were living there. And when you start to realize these people supported you for so long, you want them to be close. You want to stay close to your family. So it looks like it went from loneliness to family ties here, but loneliness is still part of this. It is still the root of this talk. Either way, it's getting late. It's almost 2 a.m. now. So I'm going to cut this short. It's 20 to 2 right now, so I'm going to cut this where it is. This is James. This is Master Mewtwo. I'm on Twitter. The link will be in the description. The link is also in all the descriptions to my videos. Follow me on Twitter. Feel free to message me on YouTube. Even my email address is on one of my videos, because it was for the run I'm doing right now. But just remember that there are people out there who are willing to help you. You just can't project your pain onto them. Which is why it's just like you hope to and pray to God that you deal with physical pain over emotional and mental pain, because physical pain can go away. Mental and emotional pain, it can last a lifetime. And all you can do is try to stop it before it takes over your entire existence.